with what? Hello, everybody. Yeah, I know it's early. I know, I get it. Uh, going to be on at noon with Trina, but got interrupted yesterday, so that really sucked, and was a victim of what they call throttle down. Apparently, your ISP can do that. They say it was random, but because of everyone, I guess at home working and now school, pulling down the internet. Who would have thought? So welcome hello, Infinite Frequencies. So good to see you. Pure Love Ascension, Tony. Didn't really expect a whole lot of people here because I know that this is early. But hey, I really wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about yesterday. And, you know, patience and fortitude and tenacity always will win. So favor to everybody. Thank you for those who are tuning in. I hope you're doing well. And hello, Tony. Good to see you. Darth, good to see you. I didn't expect that many people here. But anyway, how are you? It's crazy out there. Want to make this a thing while we're in this thing that we start acknowledging with favor and protection those who are on the front lines, everyone from the grocery clerk to the stock person to the nurse to the doctor, the first responders to the cops. Man, we got to hold them up, folks. I'm really disappointed that the awakened community, we're the ones that are supposed to be aware, empathic, right? No one's giving thanks for those people that have to go out. And whether you believe this is real or not, doesn't matter. People are dying. And I just want to say, if you're in the medical industry, any one of what they call the essential industries, thank you. Thank you for putting your ass on the line while the rest of us sit here at home. Much love to you. We speak favor to you and protection to you and your family. And all of you in New York City, especially, and the other hot spots now. I just want to say thank you. I may not know you, but you are a part of me as much as I'm a part of you. And I just want to say thank you for your service and your sacrifice. And folks, when we have a nurse, a doctor, a lab technician, a first responder, a police officer, a grocery clerk, stock person die, that's putting it on the line, baby. So we just want to say thank you and much appreciation. So good morning, Melissa. How are you? David Hall, good to see you. Yeah, wasn't that weird yesterday? That was the freakiest thing. And I'll tell you what happened. Because the way they started doing with the buffering, my buffering got into a loop and it just basically froze my whole computer. And so I literally had to do a hard shutdown, which you never really want to do. I mean, it's not recommended. And it took me about a good part of 2 hours to get things finally back into sync. And of course, I was none too happy with Comcast, but like the customer service reps, and he was really a very patient individual, said, it sucks. Get used to it. And so, we're going to try to figure out, we're still going to do the noonday shows. If it presents a problem, well, we'll adjust. So we're all family. Hello, David Hall. Good to see you as well. And so what I wanted to bring out yesterday and I didn't get to, I wanted to go through this document that I thought at this period of time, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. Who knows, right? And all beliefs are welcome, but we try to look things out. So Let's see. My phone has not allowed me to make calls since yesterday. The video I was watching earlier stopped twice due to internet failure. Yeah. I'll get it. And apparently I left that up there because the 444, I mean, seriously, um, that number has been showing up so often in my life here lately. I thought, well, why not? Let's just keep it in there. Hello, Truth in Me. Good to see you. Chloe, good to see you. Snowing where you are. Well, excellent. So let's get right to it and I'll be back on at noon with Trina, but I think I already said that. So we'll kind of get up there. But folks, I did a video on the whole thing on the one of the bloodline families. Uh, Came across this document. It was in my files, and I thought, well, now how interesting. So this is from wanttoknow.info. It's called the Hidden Hand Interview. And it's because apparently this is one of the members of the ruling bloodlines on Earth who goes by the name Hidden Hand. And what this person has done, it's, as you can see, it's 61 pages. We're going to have fun kind of going through it. What they've done, this person has come in and highlighted this with bold and key sections in bold. So, you know, if you don't want to waste your time reading everything, you can get to some of the more salacious tidbits. Let's do it this way. So this character, Hidden Hand, set some conditions, you know, on how he would respond. It says Hidden Hand provided most intriguing answers as to why there is so much war and violence on our planet, why some world leaders are so corrupt and cruel. I don't know. Gee, that's a mystery to me. And let's see. As you read the messages, you will find some inspiring truths, considering the significant parts may be more metaphoric than reality. For instance, the harvest mentioned may be just a metaphor for what happens to each individual at death. So we get to have that to look forward to. All right. So they're in bold. So let's see. This is apparently a highlight that we should pay attention to. It goes on to say, remember always that this is a beautiful game that we are playing here and co-creating together with our infinite creator. And that off stage, between lives, we are the very best of friends. I can hear some of you going, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you never know. And that no one really dies and no one really suffers except in the game. The game is not reality. Reality is reality. And you have the power to express your reality within the game once you have learned how to do so. Ooh, isn't this good? I mean, this is like, to me, and so let's all get ourselves in the right mental frame here. This is, imagine you walk into a house and you can smell fresh bread baking. Yeah, it's that kind of smell, you know, it's like, yeah, I want more of this. Okay. Window of opportunity. This took place back in October 18th, 2008. And apparently at 9:05 p.m. by Hidden Hand. He or she or it goes to say, I am a generational member of a ruling bloodline family. Ever so often, as per the directives of the law of our Creator, a brief window of opportunity opens, whereby a select handful of our family are required to make communication with our subjects and offer you the chance to ask us any questions you would like to answer. Goes on to say, I am double bound in this duty. It is required of me by the law of the Creator to offer this opportunity to you at this time. Though I am bound by the law of planetary free will and by family oaths, that there is only so much I am able to say, always with the freaking caveats. It's like reading a legal document. It depends what is, right? That I'm only allowed to say so much. Apparently there's rules in the game. If you wish to participate, here are the rules. Well, your beautiful face and spirit, and I'm here, we're all here, so I guess we're in the game, baby. So let's see what it takes to play the game successfully. One, I will afford you courtesy and respect in the manner I address you, and I expect the same from you in reciprocation. Two, I will decide whether or not I am either willing or permitted to answer your question. Well, that sucks. Yeah, he makes the rules. So, all right, let's see if these are the rules. If your question is not answered, it is either because I cannot disclose it or because I consider your question was lacking in one or more of the following: respect, courtesy, intelligence, decency, or that it was otherwise unworthy of being dignified with a response. Folks, I'm going to teach you a lesson here about how to overcome the negative energy that comes with when people talk about you, etc. You ignore them. They're not even dignified in answer because they doesn't even rate that high. That's how you do that. Blows that spell every time, and then laugh. All right, 3, that you agree to treat this potential dialogue with an aspect of provisional faith. Okay, I can dig that. In practice, this means that rather than impeding the flow of information with crass comments or disbelief or petty name calling, my participation here requires of you that you discourse with me under suspended judgment. In other words, wait until the process is complete before deciding for yourself as to the content of truth and knowledge imparted herein. All right. That you formulate your questions intelligently. My time is limited. That's the most valuable asset we have here. It's given to us as a precious treasure. Whatever you do with your allotted time, and we're all allotted time. I do not want to waste it by having to trawl through pointless, futile, insensible, or disrespectful questions. Therefore, I will answer the questions I feel are most deserving of a response during the time that I have available. Use the time we have wisely. Remember, this is one of the ruling bloodlines. If any of the above conditions are breached, I reserve the right to terminate our disclosure forthwith if I so choose. Does this sound like a lawyer? Doesn't it sound like legalese? Yes. There's a reason for that. Legalese is a legal language. And if you've ever been involved in complex litigation, raise your hand. You begin to find out there is a different world actually ruling our reality right here. And if you get into the court systems, you find out very quickly that there is a total different reality that exists. And it's as ritualistic as anything as you've ever seen. You have the bar, you have the bench. Yeah, lots of strange stuff there. All right, so let's go on. Let's see. Okay, here's the first question. How many generations back does your bloodline extend, or perhaps more accurately, who does your family consider its earliest ancestor in a position of power? Cool question. Our lineage can be traced back beyond antiquity. From the earliest times of your recorded history and beyond, our family has been directing, quote unquote, the play, quote unquote, from behind the scenes. In one way or another, before the rise and fall of Atlantis, yes, that was indeed perfectly real. We were born to lead. It is our part of the design of this current paradigm. Now, when I read that, my spirit immediately jumps into the fact words are very important. Julianne, she'll tell you, anyone who studies language, words are extremely important. So here I get the current, which means it's not permanent. It's ever revolving, evolving paradigm. Now, a paradigm, as we all know, means to look at something differently, a new way of being. It's a paradigm. Interesting. To what extent has selective breeding been used to preserve the purity of the line? And what becomes of children of unapproved unions? They would naturally still be raised with privilege, but not perhaps given the keys to the castle, as it were. What would be our best example of this today? Well, Meghan and Harry. Now, some news mainstream media, you see, it's all programming. They'll still give their royal titles. They were stripped. They don't have royalty. They don't, Harry will always, but the other one, the black sheep of the family, and I'd say that tongue in cheek, is they've been stripped of that. It's weird. This breeding is generally case specific, dependent upon the role that the family member in question are due to grow into. I will touch more on this answer in the next poster's question that you rephrased. There are no unimproved unions. Our family will always intermarry between lines, or what we would term houses. Marriages are arranged. In all my years alive, I have never seen or heard of a family member breaking this code as far as marriages go. You do as you are told. One cannot join the family. One is, quote unquote, born or incarnated into it. On the rare instances of a child being born that could be seen as bringing difficulties, quote unquote, you are correct in your premise that it would be raised as part of the family, though would not grow up in the house or community of either of its parents. Whoa. Let's see. If one were to imagine a scale, this is a question, perhaps as a triangle with political, religious, and corporate power at the 3 points, how would you categorize the power of your family yields? The power your family yields? Balanced, leaning more towards one or two of a third, or heavily favoring one of the three above the others, and has that position shifted over time? Well, this person just got in a whole list of questions in one. All right. Rennie, thanks for the tea, hon. Thank you. You need to first understand the structure of the family. In the grand scheme of things, the line is not as important as the house. The house is not as important as the family. The family is all. We've got the deal for you. Come here. Come here. No matter the house or line, we are one truly international family. Imagine, if you will, a body. A house would represent a vital organ or part body within the body itself. Each part has an important role to play in the functioning of the whole. And to each of us, the whole, quote unquote, has our undivided loyalty. As I say, many lines, far more than you are aware of. One family. One way in and never a way out. Isn't that how they say? Our realms of influence do not fit as comfortably into the three boxes of your triangle as you may imagine. Now, this is bolded, so this is important. There are 6 disciplines of training within the family, and each member of the family is schooled extensively in all of them from early childhood. We all have an area of specialty, though we may have experienced in all spheres. Hmm, Interesting. The 6 spheres or schools of learning are military, government, spiritual, scholarship, leadership, and sciences. In practice, out there on the stage of public life, we hold key positions in all of these main areas of importance, with the addition of a complicit media machine and ownership of your financial establishments. All bases are covered. I don't think this give you the warm and fuzzies. I will have to rely in part due to the restrictions of character per post. Which ruling bloodline family? Rockefellers? That may be a bit too direct for our inquisity. I'd offer the following substitute. How many parallel bloodlines do you estimate are in similar positions to your own? And to what extent does your family see them as either competition or collaborators? You ever been in a meeting and ever heard the term, um, this is a notification, not a negotiation? Not the same thing. Yes, as I say, knowing the line is of no particular use to you. It is the belonging to the family that is important. There are 13 base or core original bloodlines. Yet there are many, many other lines that spring from these, as do rivers from the oceans. If you imagine the 13 original lines is primarily color, that can be mixed to create a vast array of other colors. Then you will have some comprehension. Again, no competition, just family. No competition in the sense of house against house, though it is a dog eat dog world. So there is interpersonal competition in that sense of the word. Everyone wants to move up. Our whole family, our whole familial society is geared that way towards upward progression. With what does the term generational member mean? Which generation specifically? It means that one is born into the family. The order and its agenda is handed down from generation to generation. Only in extremely rare occasions have outsiders been invested into the family. And then even these were other esoterically integratable lines. They're all about family. We are family. All right. Question. Can you cite 2 or more previous incidences whereby this directive has been upheld? Mr. Mrs. Hidden Hand says, once in 1999 to what you would call an alternative media source, once in 2003 on another internet conspiracy-based forum. Though the information relayed was not entirely pure, not from the intention of misleading, but rather through imperfect or incomplete knowledge of the messengers. If it is not in the mainstream controlled media, it will not be believed by the masses. This is information tailored for those who already know that we are very real and exerting a strong, if most subtle, influence over your lives. If you wish to enslave a man, allow him to believe that he is already free. All my decades of studying philosophy, that has always come up. So we think we're free. Oh, yes, 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 we're sovereign. Yes, 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 yes. How do you know you're free? I know I'm free because I'm aware of it. I see. Besides that, I have the spark of the divine. But are you free? Yes, I am free. See how this argument goes? 2, by what basis is the timing of such revelations established? By the decree of the Supreme World Council, according to the will of the Creator. Question, are we really considered chattel and traded as such by the government? Answer, by the governments, generally, yes. People are seen as collateral, pawns that are maneuvered around the chessboard according to the game plan. By the family, contrary to popular beliefs, many of us do not mean you any harm directly. There is just the matter of divine destiny to uphold and unfold, and we must play our parts in the game as given to us by the Creator. I don't know. How does that make you feel? For me, I'm like, what? Just who do you think you are? Divine destiny to uphold and unfold. And I know we've just started in this. Of course, I'm acting like I haven't read it, but by the Creator. Notice they don't say God. No. Why? Because God is limiting. Creator, far different. He goes on to say, in many ways, it is actually in our own interest that you are prepared for the coming harvest. Now, again, at the beginning of the document, the person who's writing this is trying to inflect. Well, this doesn't mean what you think it means. Metaphorically, what does it mean? That I've ascended? Or are they talking about what we're going to finish that document, by the way, what has been in the works for a very long time? Hidden Hand goes on to say, just not maybe prepared in quite the way that you would like. Still, even then, you are choosing the negativity polarity with your own free will decisions. With a little help and direction from us, souls are harvestable in either extreme of the polarities, one could say. So, obviously, they're talking about souls here. I don't like the term souls and harvest. Those two, that's vinegar and oil. It don't go together. Let's go back and read this again. People are seen as collateral, pawns that are maneuvered around the chessboard according to the game plan. By the family, contrary to popular beliefs, many of us do not mean you any harm directly. Okay, so I am assuming then that means I'm going to be indirectly hurt? There is just the matter of divine destiny. Well, no kidding. Yeah, I guess there is this matter of divine destiny. I want to see this contract. Trina and I'll probably talk this up on our show. To uphold and unfold, because remember, He says the families obey the will, the law of the Creator. We must play our parts in the game as given to us by the Creator, capital C. In many ways, it is actually in our own interest that you are prepared for the coming harvest, just not maybe prepared in quite the way that you would like. Still, even then, you are choosing, get this, the negative polarity with your own free will decisions. Oh man, we can get into that one. Wow. With a little help, quote unquote, and direction from us, souls are harvestable in either extreme, quote unquote, of the polarities, one could say. Wow. If so, here's the question. If so, how do we become free men? Answer: you will never be free, quote unquote, for as long as you are incarnating on this planet. The very nature of your being here is indication of that. There is a reason why you are here. And here, quote unquote, is very likely not really where you think here is. How do you become free? By working out where you are and coming to an understanding of why you are here. You are fast running out of time to do so before the coming harvest. Those that don't make it will have to repeat the cycle. Question: is the Messiah alive today? Answer: there is no Messiah. Stop looking outside of yourselves for salvation. Is there what you might call a Christ consciousness alive? Then yes, in a manner of speaking, though not in your third density, dimensional awareness. Wow. Timely knowledge for a timely time. Question: is it the end times as described in the book of Revelations? You see, this is the ignorant. When you see, it's not revelation, it's revelation. Hidden Hands answered, yes, not just described in the book of Revelation, but also in the prophecies of virtually every religion, spiritual philosophy, and mystery tradition throughout history. This time is now at hand. To use your own example, person goes to Revelation 14 through 16. Now, I don't believe in prophecy, but because to me, it's nothing more than a pre-program that's just been inserted into the mainframe. But anyway, let's read this. I know I've studied this book more than I care to. 14 and 6. Then I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and on the cloud sat one like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out to the temple, crying with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, thrust your sickle and reap, for the time has come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. So he who sat on the cloud thrust his sickle in on the earth, and the earth was reaped. The earth is indeed ripe for harvest. The question is, who will be ready? And will the harvest be positive or negative? Question: how do you justify that the current British royal family line is the true bloodline, but Ishmael is not the true receiver of Abraham's gift? If you're true bloodline, you'll know what I mean. Who says it is the true line? There were ruling bloodlines long before your Yahweh, and his Christianity arrived on this planet. Yahweh is a creator, not the one infinite creator. There are other and higher gods than him. Ultimately, all are a part of the one, and either consciously or unconsciously exercising their free will to create. Begin to study outside the box for the true understanding of the creation. I think the Liber Lilith gave us probably one of the best alternate perspectives. And as you go back, and you should go back and look at that series again, that book, the Liber Lilith, in so many ways, she gave the true picture from, in my opinion, of what the ultimate true creator is and the autogen. All right. He goes on to say, the British royalty is not the most powerful line. The names that you know do not hold the real ancient power. There are others above these lineages in the hierarchy. You will not know the names of these lines. Question. OP, what proof do you have that ruling elite families exist and that you're a member of one? Is something that it's something that I think you thought was not falsifiable, which is why you chose that identity. For the story you're weaving, however, I think there may indeed be a way you can prove it. Okay. I have no need to prove anything to you. I am merely doing my duty as directed to me. Believe or do not believe. We are divinely indifferent. Wow. You know, that's probably the lowest of low that you can have in a relationship. You know, relationship's over when the person shows you complete indifference. Goes on to say, I am obliged to complete this task here. The end result is of no consequence to me. I will have discharged my duty in handing down certain information that must be released at this time. There is no stipulation as to where I do so, only that I do. I chose above top secret as the general level of intelligence, comprehension, and reasoning is reckoned to be higher than in many such forums. Understand, now this is bold, due to the law of free will, I cannot just give you information, at least not without consequences to my own person, which I would rather avoid. There's intelligence. It is an infringement upon your free will, your right to not know. You have to ask me for the information you want. Only then can I provide it. So whilst there are important things I have to share, if I am not asked the questions, I cannot get that information to you. I am hopeful that synchronicity will bring the most important questions of real depth out from among you. My duty is to offer. Yours is to ask. My duty is fulfilled, whether or not yours is. Wow. Question. Surely, if ruling elite families exist, and you're a member of one of them, you must be controlling global events through world governments. Tell us one major government action from any country that's going to occur in the next 5 days. I won't be surprised when you refuse to do so. You know, those are questions that, that they're just not going to get the response that they want. Well, anyway, let's see what Hidden Hands had to say here. I am not at liberty to discuss such intimate, immediate detail. And in many cases, I am not far enough up the hierarchy to know anyway. Typically, I would receive a call a day from the enactment of a major event, just to say something along the lines of this part of such and such a plan will take place tomorrow in such and such a way. Do not be alarmed. Also, one has to take into account the specific areas of specialty I mentioned previously. My area is spirituality. That should have been a cue form right there for every question after that. So my focus is not so much on geopolitical events. I am, however, aware of the overall design, though the finer points are not often my area of expertise. I am prepared to give you some things coming down the timeline that you will be able to look back upon and verify my predictions retrospectively. The stock markets will soon complete their controlled demolition. After an initial appearance that the bailouts and rescue packages have steadied the ship, there will be new record lows by the end of the month. Our financial institutions will later call in all loans. There will be many bankruptcies and foreclosures. Okay, this did happen. The only way John McCain will become the next president will be if something happens to Barack Obama before the election. If there is even an election, if a certain factions get their way, there will not be one. Remember, behind the scenes, there is only one party, our party. Democracy is an illusion which is created to uphold your slavery. Whichever side wins, the family wins. There are many possibilities and alternative scripts. All of them lead towards the ultimate implementation of the overall blueprint of our Creator. This is what I like about going back and look at these things. What happened? Well, guess what? They did. Okay, you can't deny history. And listen, I was heavily involved in politics back in that part of that time. And the way that the script went, it was, yeah, Barack Obama he was chosen. He was ordained. And that played out here in Denver back in August of 2008. Go back and look at the videos, folks. The acceptance that Barack Hussein Obama gave was not an acceptance, it was an ordination. It had the pillars representing Mount Olympus. Folks, go back and look at it. Yeah. It was also one of the times when I told the people that there was a mass spell that was being initiated. I mean, you can see it in the people that were there at Mile High Stadium at the time. Weird. All right. He goes on to say, unless any unforeseen disruptions delay its announcement, there will be a new currency by the end of 2008, 2009, along with new Union of Nations. Well, we know that didn't happen in its implementation. However, and this is the thing, there is a new currency. It just hasn't been the right time. This may be the time that they do initiate it. So along with a new Union of Nations, January has been spoken in some circles as the latest, though there are plans underway which could even bring this to fruition much earlier than initially hoped for. Depends upon the results of other upcoming events as to how this will play out. I am not high enough up in the hierarchy to know the intimate details of the dates and time that far in advance. There is a tree system in which such knowledge is passed down, As and when it becomes a need to know, I would be considered to be a regional leader. Above me are national and international. So, you know, you could have been fed information that who knows. Um, but the North American, and it's called the Amero, is the new currency. And you can go online there, you can actually see the designs of the Amero, and that's what it's called, the Amero, which would join Canada, the United States, and Mexico. I just don't think that, I think Barack fulfilled in so many other areas. Remember, Barack's biggest thing in history will be he was a globalist, and he did a lot to implement these international tribunals, is what they were called. Still in San Francisco and Damascus will be uninhabitable by the end of 2010. Well, that didn't happen. So we know that this not quite up to par. That's what happens when you get in the prediction business. Again, it depends upon certain forces at play and which timelines are activated. Well, let's be reasonable people. You could easily say, well, there was another timeline activated. Many of us are experiencing, all of us are experiencing multiple different timelines. I mean, you got 2/3 of the whole world locked down right now. This is weird. He goes on to say, humanity, though ultimately unconscious of the fact, has a significant part to play in this. You, as a collective consciousness of the planet, are choosing the negative polarization by default, by the quality of your thoughts and actions. Thought is creative energy, focus. You get exactly what you put out. Well, it tells me that I think something may have also intervened, or again, this could just been, again, like he says, a different timeline. He goes on to say, why do you think the media is so important to us? You have, as a society, in your hypnotized comatose state, given your free will consent to the state your planet is in today. I spoke about that last week. Is it a malfunction or manifestation? You saturate your minds with the unhealthy dishes served up for you on your televisions that you are addicted to: violence, pornography, greed, hatred, selfishness, insistent bad news, fear, and terror. When was the last time you stopped to think of something beautiful and pure? The planet is the way it is because of your collective thoughts about it. You are complicit in your inaction. Every time you look the other way, when you see an injustice, your thought at the subconscious level of creation to the Creator is your allowance of these things to occur. In so doing, you are serving our purpose. It is very important to us that the polarization of this planet is negative at the time of the great harvest. That means service of self-orientated as opposed to positive service to others. We require a negative harvest, and you are doing a fine job of helping us to obtain our goal. We are very grateful. I go say there will be dramatic changes to the climate and weather in the next few years. Well, that did, and it's happening now. You will see wind speeds passing 300 miles an hour at times. We have. That's why they have a new, the Fuji scale of tornadoes. F5s now compensate up to that speed. There will be raging tsunamis and widespread devastation, a solar emission in late 2009, early 2010 that will cause major melting. Well, that didn't happen, thank goodness, and subsequent drastic rise in sea levels. leaving many metropolitan areas. Well, we're glad that that didn't happen. This guy wasn't getting some all the best information either, was he? But then again, like he said, I'm only a regional leader. So he said, maybe, maybe they were just feeding him the faults. Who knows? That is all I have for at the present. I have a sacrifice I must attend. No, not really. Just kidding. Let's see if we can increase the depth of inquiry in the questions. All right. Well, we'll stop right there. I just thought this was interesting. And when you look in retrospect, it is kind of cool. I mean, I'm glad some of this stuff didn't happen. I like San Francisco. I think it's a great city. I'd hate to see that but now thinking about Damascus though, but Damascus did in fact get evacuated. Remember the whole thing with whatever his name is, I can see his face, gassing the people. A lot of people died in Damascus. I'll think of his name anyway. So, well, thank you, Angelfish. It's fun. Hey, Lois, how are you doing, dear? I'd like to get you back on. I was thinking about you in meditation the other night. Your name came up. And so, yeah, I think it was just interesting. We'll continue because, you got to do the sifting. Any of you bakers know, you get, baker's flour, and they always require you to sift it. I think I know why that was, but I'm not sure. But in any case, it's just the way it is. Yeah, the streets of San Francisco. Isn't that Mike Douglas? Yeah, man. Yeah. Who was the guy with the big bulbous nose? I don't think of his name. Who was that? Y'all fakes are great. I mean, the folks here in the chat room, it is great. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with some of it, and some of it I don't. It's like being at a buffet. You got this smorgasbord. I don't like sauerkraut. Yeah. And I don't like hominy either. So, now someone else made us enjoy that. Eyes to see. 555. Thank you. Thank you. Much favor to you. May it be returned to you 100-fold. Thank you. But I don't. It's just I don't like beets either. I know they're good for you. I can drink beets liquid, but anyway, we're just sifting it out. Folks, thank you. We all know that they won't win. Absolutely. Hey, if we're delusional by thinking that we're free, fine. It's a fine delusion. But I happen to think that, taking his very words, he says that our thoughts can change the plan. I don't know if it can change the game. I would think maybe. He spoke of multiple timelines, which tells me that is our out. There is a way out of the matrix, folks. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly want to come back. I think there's far more far out stuff out there. I want to see it. I mean, I want to see a star explode. I want to see planets form. I want to be able to see time compressed. I want to be able to go to the different planes and begin to see stuff that I can't even comprehend. I don't want to come back here. It's just me. I don't know. What can you say? My gratitude to all of you. Thank you, Truth in Me. Hey, Nick Bravo. Good to see you. Well, thank you, Infinite Frequencies. Marguerite, good to see you as well. True Helper, thank you. Y'all are just the best. I have deep, deep compassion and feelings for this group. And I think our synchronicities are increasing. Just me. I know it. I see it all the time. All right, folks, I will see you in about 2 hours with Miss Trina. So please tune back in, and we're going to just think favor the bandwidth, right? I got the rationing in yesterday, so that's cool. That's like fine. All right, no problem. Far out. We can adjust. All right. Much love to you all. See you in a couple of hours. All right. Bye-bye. Bye bye.